COVID-19 has hit the United States very hard, but what about third world countries? And what happens in other parts of the world where they don't have access to the same luxuries and medicines that we do? Well, one local young man has been on the front lines of this fight, and there is a charity event that you can take part in. Kyle Horne is here to talk about Together Act Now, a virtual gala happening this week. Hello.
Hi, it's nice to meet you, Lisa.
Nice to meet you too. Okay, so what I think is interesting about this is that, like I said at the beginning, the United States, I mean, we're struggling with the coronavirus as well, but when you look at other places in this world, like, for example, Malawi, things are really bad there.
Yeah, so when COVID-19 first arrived in Malawi, the country, and they still only have 25 ICU beds, and they had 7 ventilators for a population of 19 million.
Gee, I mean, sorry, I like paused because I mean the numbers, that's craziness.
Yeah, it's really staggering when you think of the disparities that exist and the fact that the access to the ICU beds and everything else that they need just doesn't exist. And I was actually speaking with my country director the other day, and his wife was exhibiting symptoms. And I said, well, are you going to go to the hospital? And he said no, because he was worried that actually there's more potential for them to get sick going to the hospital. So, you know, even the numbers we're looking at, which seem pretty small for the country in terms of the cases, we don't really think it's very accurate because a lot of people don't want to actually go and get tested because they're concerned what that could mean.
Isn't that so unfortunate? So now the thing is that I think a lot of people, when they think of a gala to raise money to help fund support to help people through, you know, COVID-19, which is a horrible thing. Mm-hmm. I mean, I think a lot of people would think, well, why are we donating money to another country? We've got a lot of problems in the United States. So tell me what the appeal is to Malawi specifically and why people should probably think outside themselves and outside of our country right now.
It's a great question. There are a lot of causes that need support here in America, 100%. But I also like to think of the world as being a lot flatter now, and it's a little bit smaller as we continue. And COVID-19 hasn't just hit one country, it has spread to every single country around the world. And the reality is, if we can help stop COVID-19 spreading in other places, we can really help our global community work towards more health equities being found and realized no matter where in the world you are. A lot of these countries don't have the capacity to be able to respond without support. So having organizations like Together Act Now on the ground, providing education, where the simple thing is, you know, we have access to Twitter and we have access to all these other modalities to get information that just don't exist in a lot of these places. So we need to kind of provide that little leg up, that little extra support to these areas where we can at least try and get accurate information out into some of these remote villages, and where we can also then provide, like we provide masks to all of our community members that work out there, hand washing stations, because that's really not a big part of a cultural norm over there, or even just really having access to it. So we've created these tippy taps, which are these hands-free little devices where you put your foot on this piece of wood and it turns over this water faucet, which is just a jug, and then they can wash their hands and make sure that they're not spreading the virus.
You know, the other thing you mentioned about Together Act Now is the education piece. And I think that's another important aspect, even in the United States, education on this virus and how it spreads and the exposure rates and so forth. But how do you educate in a place like Malawi? How is it that you could communicate with these people?
Right. So the majority of our programming is around HIV. So we work to end the spread of HIV in poor and rural areas of Malawi through theater, education, and access. So what we do is we go into a village, it's all locally run, and our troupe of actors will get out under this big meeting tree and they'll sing and dance and drum and create a big, we call it a big commotion. And the entire village will come around and join, and we'll have anywhere from 200 to 2,000 people from that village come and join us, and we'll provide a day's worth of education. But we want to make it fun because, would you rather go see a movie or listen to a lecture? You want to see a movie. So what we do is we provide that through theater. So we provide really fun, engaging theater. It's based on Charles Dickens' A Christmas Carol as our main play. And then the big thing is we then also provide access, because the biggest barrier to Malawians receiving testing as well as the medication is that transportation barrier from going from their remote village to wherever the clinic is. So we remove that barrier by bringing the testing as well as mobile medicine clinics out into the village so they have direct access where they live and where they need it most.
And all of that takes money, which leads me to my last point, and that is this virtual gala. Of course, we're dealing with COVID-19 here in this country too, and you usually do a big, huge gala in person, but you're having to kind of tap dance around that this year. So let's talk about the actual event. It's virtual this year, so more people can actually participate.
That's right. Yeah. So typically our gala is actually up in Alaska, where I'm originally from. And then we sometimes will do little fundraisers around the country. But what's really neat is in one big event, we're able to have everyone come together, no matter where they are in America or around the world. And our gala this year, we're really excited. It's hosted by Katie Leclerc, who's a fantastic actress and a dear friend of the program. And she's going to be hosting the gala from beginning to end. There'll be some video from me, but more importantly, there's going to be video coming in from Malawi. So our country director is going to be speaking. We have a couple villagers that we have worked with that are going to speak, as well as some of our volunteers and our outreach team. So we're really wanting to make sure that even though it's virtual, we're still having an element of that community present, and we're still able to really hear from the people who are doing the important work down in Malawi.
And it's September 5th, just in a couple of days. At what time? How do you participate?
So it's September 5th. It happens at 6 p.m. Pacific time, and it's really simple. You don't have to download anything. It's not going to be anything difficult. You just go to www.togetheractnow.org/gala. You sign up there. It's 100% free. We want to make sure that there's no barriers to access to this gala as well. So it's 100% free. You sign up, togetheractnow.org/gala, and then we send you the link. And it's literally just a website that you go to that's on our Together Act Now site, and it's embedded in there, so it's really simple, and you'll be able to join us. It's going to last about 30 minutes, no longer than that. We realize that it is a lot of effort to sit on our computers for too long, so we want to make sure we're really mindful of that. And it's going to be just a lot of fun. There's songs, there's going to be stories, and we're just wanting to make it an evening of a community coming together and sharing some really, really beautiful impact.
All right. Well, Kyle, thank you so much for what you're doing, and thank you for your time. Good luck with the gala. I hope you guys are able to raise a bunch of money.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate this time as well. Take care.